Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mr. Joshua with another custom toy review. So today I'm showing you guys the simple modification that I'm doing to the 2003 Toy Biz Cyclops action figure. So originally, this guy had a swivel joint for the head, and what I did yesterday after my last video was I very carefully took this head off. It was actually kind of a bitch to take off the swivel joint. So what I had to do was I had to take a little knife. Then I had to get in there to this little crevice right there. Let's see if we can do a focus. There we go. You can see where I cut into the side of the head right here. So what I did is I gently cut in there on both sides. This side was actually a little bit easier to get in, and I gently split it open. And I was able to take it off of the swivel joint. One of the weird things I noticed about this figure was I guess there's something electrical in the figure that I didn't know until I took it all apart. It was kind of weird. There was this weird like 2003 like LED light thing inside of Cyclops' head. And I was looking on the figure yesterday and I was trying to figure out a place where you would put like a battery or something, because I assumed that there's got to be a battery compartment somewhere on the figure. And it was just really odd because with all the figures that I've had ever since I was growing up, whenever I had an action figure that had like light up eyeball action or some shit, the articulation really wasn't that great, because they had to compensate for the all of the electricals and stuff inside the figure. In this case, it's pretty weird because the figure has 36 points of articulation, and there's just really no like compartment or anything for the for batteries to go into, which I thought was really weird. And then I noticed that there's two little holes right there. And then I was looking on the internet for like a brand spanking new Cyclops figure from Toy Biz 2003, and I found one, and it came with a weird looking weapon. So I'm guessing that the weapon that it came with actually had the battery pack in there, and some weird way I guess the battery pack like maybe hooked up, and you put something in there which activates the light or something. That's my guess. I'm not really sure, but I thought it was kind of weird. So what I did is obviously I took out all of the the wire and stuff that I could, and the stuff I couldn't get out, I just dremeled the fuck out of it. Which it took some time. It actually took me a good 20 minutes just to get the head off. I did that by choice. And the reason why it took me 20 minutes is because I just didn't want to destroy the head, and I really didn't want to destroy the plastic on the torso or neck area, because I just don't know how brittle the plastic is. I've never worked on a figure from 2003. Except for Gundams, but that's different. Gundams are made of like soft PVC plastic, so. But yeah, here's what I did. After I cut off the swivel joint on there, I kind of rounded up the neck joint a little bit. As you can see, all the way around, it was originally just flat, and came to a round corner all the way around the neck, so I just rounded that off to give the figure better neck articulation. And then this is a ball joint that I bought a couple years ago from Japan. Came in a lot of like $5 for $5. I really wish that I saved the seller that I got these from, because I've got some other projects that need these ball joints, and I can't really find these ball joints on eBay. Well, I can and I can't. I found some that were being sold separately for $5 a piece, and I was like, dude, no, I'm not gonna fucking buy a ball joint for $5. They can go suck my dick for all I care. But also I can mold this ball joint, but molding and resin casting ball joints is like it's probably one of the worst things you can do if you want ball joints, because resin casts, they're good for making legs, feet, maybe hands and heads and stuff like that, but it's not good for ball joints or joints. Just, smaller that resin pieces get, the more brittle they become. And I learned that from experience years and years ago. But, yeah, I really gotta find some more of these joints. If I had a if I had like a, plastic molding injection machine, that wouldn't be a problem, you know? Because I would actually be, injecting fucking plastic instead of resin. Which, ironically, I do have plastic specifically designed for a plastic injection machine, but I still haven't had the money to buy myself one of those machines because there's so much money, especially for cheaper ones too. Cheaper ones are like $1,000, and it's like, dude, I can't spend that much money. I live here in California; everything's expensive, and thanks to our piece of shit Governor Newsom, everything's gonna get even more expensive here this year, especially when they finally raise the minimum wage up to $15 an hour. Oh, we're self-entitled. We want $15 an hour because we can't make it here. And it's like, well, why don't you bust your ass off and fucking work instead of bitching and complaining about, wanting $15 an hour? Now you raise minimum wage, you raise the cost of living, you fuck everyone else. And it doesn't make anything better. It's like, yeah, you're getting more money, but because of minimum wage going from $12 to $15, you're going to lose more hours. We're going to have more, businesses fleeing California because everything here is a fucking joke. And everything just gets worse. But, yeah, besides my little rant on fucking minimum wage, as you see here, I rounded off the neck. And then I super glued a ball joint on there. Hopefully the super glue is cured. By the looks of it, it looks like it's cured. I hope. So also what I did with the head here was I actually drilled out this part underneath the jawbone. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to give it more leeway when I, turn the head up and down and stuff. This is still definitely a work in progress. I've already had the ball joint inside this pre-drilled hole that I did, and it fits and everything, but it just, it's so fucking loose, So, I was expecting that, by the way. So what I'm going to do now, after this video, is I'm going to fill this little cavity in with hot glue. And this is a little trick that I learned on YouTube from a guy who I follow. Forgot what his name was, but I started following him because he does custom Power Rangers, and the videos are nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some maybe olive oil this time. I know the olive oil doesn't really dissolve, so I'm going to take some olive oil and get this all nice and saturated with olive oil, so that way when I put the ball joint inside this hole that's been pre-filled with hot glue, so when I shove it in there, it'll form around the ball joint, but it won't stick to the ball joint, so that way I'll be able to move the head up and down and do whatever it is I want with it. But as you can see, it's gonna be a whole lot better than it was before. I still gotta position the head on there properly. I want to figure out a way to do that. As you see right here, it's just it's kind of it's a little too low, so I want to do it somewhere around maybe there, so that way he gets some good movement. But yeah, it's gonna take me another maybe like 5 or 10 minutes to get this figured the way that I want it, and when it's done, it's gonna be awesome. And if you guys are looking in the background here, of course this is my new zombie Wolverine that I'm working on. As you can see, he looks a little bit different than the first one that I did, and the reason for that is because I just I wanted a different like zombie variation of Wolverine. And this one's fucking badass. I really like it, but I'm gonna be selling it. And somebody already offered me $40, so if somebody wants this figure, let me know. I'll sell it to you for $40 with free shipping and handling. Definitely a good deal, one of a kind. You'll never find a figure like that ever again, unless somebody manages to, like, take time and effort to take that figure apart and mold it and just, basically mass produce a zombie version of the Wolverine. And this one here, he's actually looking really cool. When I'm done with this zombie right here, I'm gonna do a video review on it. As you can see back in here, I did his face last night. I had to, like, shave his face down and do like a zombie face. He looks a little weird from distance away, but he kind of looks like a gremlin in a weird way. But when he's done, it's gonna look fucking awesome. But back to the Cyclops. I'm hoping that I'm gonna be able to start turning him into a zombie today. And one of the things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tear his chest. Well, his man chest be right there. I'm going to tear it open a little bit and expose some muscle. And originally, I wanted him to look like he was just holding his head. But in this variation, I'm just going to make it so that he doesn't have to hold his head or anything. I already did one Cyclops like that, so I'm going to make this guy a little bit different. But yeah, that's all I have for this figure right now. And stay tuned to see his articulation, the outcome of the articulation of the ball joint for his head. And if you guys like my videos, please like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.